He was a Franciscan friar and Archbishop of Canterbury in the years 1279 to 1292. He was known for his studies in theology and being a conservative opponent of Thomas Aquinas on the nature of the soul. His name is John Peckham. In the medieval era, amidst the academic hub of the University of Paris, a young scholar by the name of John Peckham began his pursuit of knowledge. Under the tutelage of the renowned theologian Bonaventure, Peckham emerged as an adept student, delving into the intricacies of philosophy and theology. But it was his disagreement with another prominent thinker, Thomas Aquinas, that would shape his intellectual legacy. Peckham, a conservative at heart, held divergent views on the nature of the soul, engaging in spirited debates with Aquinas. As his studies progressed, Peckham's thirst for knowledge extended beyond the confines of theology. His curiosity led him to explore the realms of optics and astronomy, drawing inspiration from the works of luminaries like Roger Bacon and Alhazen. These new fields of study illuminated his mind, sparking a profound intellectual growth within him. Having acquired a depth of knowledge in both theology and the sciences, Peckham returned to his homeland of England. At the prestigious University of Oxford, he shared his wisdom with eager minds, shaping the next generation of thinkers. In recognition of his scholarly prowess, he was appointed the provincial minister of the Franciscan order in England. But it was his ultimate path to greatness that awaited him in the hallowed halls of Canterbury. In 1279, Peckham donned the mantle of the Archbishop of Canterbury, the highest-ranking cleric in England. Guided by his unwavering faith, he sought to enforce discipline among the clergy and restructure his ecclesiastical estate. Yet, his pursuits were not limited to matters of the church alone. Peckham's influence extended to the political sphere as well, as he served King Edward I of England in his campaign in Wales. Even amidst his ecclesiastical duties and political obligations, Peckham continued to contribute to the world of scholarship. His pen never ceased to weave profound treatises on optics, philosophy, theology, and even hymns. To this day, numerous manuscripts bearing his wisdom and insights endure, testaments to his indomitable intellect. When the final chapter of John Peckham's life was written, his mortal remains found their rest in the sacred grounds of Canterbury Cathedral. However, in a symbolic gesture of his commitment to the Franciscan ideals, his heart found its final dwelling within the sacred walls of the Franciscan order. John Peckham, a scholar, theologian, and diplomat, forever immortalized through the triumph of his intellect and his unwavering dedication to the pursuit of knowledge. John Peckham, a Franciscan theologian and scholar, was born in the humble town of Peckham in East Sussex around 1230. His early life was marked by a thirst for knowledge, and he was fortunate to receive an education at the prestigious Lewes Priory. It was there that his intellectual journey began, leading him to join the Franciscan order at Oxford in 1250. Driven by a desire to deepen his understanding of theology, Peckham embarked on a journey to the University of Paris. Under the tutelage of renowned theologian Bonaventure, he thrived in his studies and eventually became a regent master, delivering official lectures on theological matters. During his time in Paris, Peckham authored a notable work called the Commentary on Lamentations, which presented two different sermons. Peckham's academic pursuits brought him into contact with some of the most prominent scholars of his time, including the great Thomas Aquinas. It was in their debates, held in 1269 and 1270, that Peckham defended conservative theological positions while Thomas put forth his groundbreaking ideas about the soul. The debates ultimately led to the condemnation of the Thomist doctrine of the unity of form. Peckham's theological work, which would later influence his pupil Roger Marston and the renowned philosopher Duns Scotus, gained recognition and respect. Despite his focus on theology, Peckham also explored other fields of knowledge, particularly drawn to the value of experimental science espoused by Robert Grosseteste and Roger Bacon. The exact circumstances of Peckham's meeting with Bacon remain unknown, but it is believed to have taken place at either Paris or Oxford. Bacon's influence can be seen in Peckham's works on optics and astronomy, where he drew inspiration from a wide range of thinkers, including Euclid, Aristotle, and the Islamic scholars Alhazen and Avicenna. In his pursuit of knowledge, Peckham aimed to follow in the footsteps of Alhazen, a significant figure in the field of optics. Guided by the wisdom of his predecessors, Peckham sought to understand the world through both theological and scientific lenses, integrating philosophy and experimentation into his scholarly endeavors. John Peckham, a renowned philosopher and theologian, returned to England in the year 1270 after a period of teaching at Oxford. He was a man of great influence, having been elected as the provincial minister of the Franciscans in England in 1275. However, his time as provincial minister was short-lived as he was called to Rome to serve as a theological lecturer at the papal palace. During his tenure in Rome, Peckham composed a significant work called Expositio super Regulum Fratrum Minorum, which focused on preaching and highlighted its importance. His scholarly contributions earned him recognition, leading to his appointment as the Archbishop of Canterbury in 1279 by Pope Nicholas III. This appointment came after the Pope had prohibited the election of Edward I's preferred candidate, Robert Burnell. As Archbishop, Peckham prioritized discipline within the clergy, often finding himself in conflict with them. His first act as Archbishop was to call a council in Reading in July 1279, intending to implement ecclesiastical reform. However, his decision to mandate the display of a copy of Magna Carta in all cathedral and collegiate churches sparked outrage from the king, who saw it as an unnecessary intrusion into political matters. Parliament eventually invalidated this regulation, leading to the removal of the copies of Magna Carta. Despite these challenges, Peckham devoted himself to reorganizing the estates of the diocese. From 1283 to 1285, he conducted an inquiry into the revenues of the see, with the aim of streamlining administrative structures. Peckham divided the manors into 7 administrative groups, establishing a more efficient management system. However, he faced constant financial difficulties, as he was in perpetual debt and lacked personal property to support himself due to his Franciscan vows of poverty. ###. Amidst his struggles, John Peckham held on to a belief that his life would recur in exactly identical fashion. This phrase revealed his resilience and determination to make a lasting impact, despite the challenges he faced. ###. Peckham's legacy is one of perseverance and dedication to his calling. His reorganization efforts demonstrate his commitment to improving the functioning of the archdiocese, even if his financial troubles often hampered his progress. Today, we can draw inspiration from Peckham's unwavering spirit in dealing with obstacles that we encounter in our daily lives. By embodying his determination and adaptability, we too can find ways to navigate the complexities of our modern world and make a positive difference. John Peckham, Archbishop of Canterbury, found himself embarking on a diplomatic mission to Wales at the behest of King Edward. It was the year 1282, and tensions were high between the Welsh and the English crown. Despite his good relations with the king, Peckham faced a daunting task as he attempted to mediate between the Welsh leader, Llywelyn ap Griffith, and King Edward. However, the mission proved to be futile, as Edward remained steadfast in his stance. In his efforts to find a resolution, Peckham excommunicated some of the Welsh who resisted King Edward. This action, coupled with his service to the English monarch, led Peckham to form a less than favorable opinion of the Welsh people and their laws. As he toured the Welsh diocese, he criticized the clergy for their perceived moral shortcomings, such as unchaste lives, excessive consumption, and heavy drinking. Peckham also noted that the Welsh clergy lacked education, though he did appoint a Welsh-speaking suffragan bishop to assist with pastoral duties. Not only did Peckham critique the clergy, but he also disparaged the Welsh people as a whole. He contrasted their pastoral economy with the farming-based economy prevalent in England, deeming the Welsh lazy and idle. His discontent extended to the Welsh laws, which he regarded as contrary to both the Old and New Testament. Peckham found particular offense in the Welsh legal system's preference for settlement over the condemnation of criminals, unlike the more punitive English law. In the midst of his diplomatic duties, Peckham corresponded with Llywelyn, using these letters to express his disapproval of the Welsh people and their laws. His criticisms highlighted his belief that the Welsh were inferior to the English in terms of both culture and justice. Additionally, Peckham faced internal challenges from his subordinate, Thomas Beck, the Bishop of St. David's. Beck sought to establish St. David's as an independent entity separate from Canterbury, an idea first proposed by Gerald of Wales. However, Peckham swiftly quashed Beck's ambitions, denying the elevation of St. David's to metropolitan status. As we reflect on John Peckham's dealings with the Welsh and his staunch defense of English law and culture, we can draw parallels to our daily lives. Peckham's experience highlights the dangers of prejudice and rigid adherence to one's own perspective. It serves as a reminder to approach differences with an open mind and a willingness to understand alternative viewpoints. By embracing diversity and engaging in dialogue, we can foster greater understanding, harmony, and cooperation in our interconnected world.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.